Being a content entrepreneur means you're creating audio or video or text and pictures. You're doing something to help people understand about your business. They see that, and the content that you create converts into cash. That's critical, what we talk about here at Stark Raving Entrepreneurs. But speaking of that, the stark truth is that many content entrepreneurs fail. And we're going to show you in this video how to avoid that. I'm Terry Brock, and I'm joined by Gina Carr, my partner in this venture, to help you. Gina, what are your thoughts on being a content entrepreneur?
Well, it's certainly something that is important, and it's a great way for people who have expertise or passion in a specific area to get their message out into the world and to make money doing so, which is just an amazing thing that's been happening over the last few years and is really coming into its own. This whole thought of not just a content creator, but a content entrepreneur that makes your living by creating content.
Yeah, I think that's the key, that you out there, you're creating content, and this is how you want to earn a living. So we're going to give you some of the specific steps that you can get into. And we've got a very nice gift for you at the end. So stay tuned to the rest of this. We've got something that can really help you in many, many ways.
Now, over the years, we've worked with hundreds of content entrepreneurs, and we've seen what works and what doesn't work. So today we're going to share with you some of the best tips and strategies that we've picked up. And let's get right into it. So some of the common reasons for failure, I believe one of the main ones is that people don't begin with the end in mind, as Stephen Covey told us. They start creating this kind of content, and then they start doing this kind of content, and they don't have this overall direction that I need to be headed in a specific direction. You need to get a lot of clarity on who you serve and the problem that you solve with your content entrepreneur business and how you're going to make money. So as you're creating content, it's not that every piece of content goes directly to asking someone to buy something, but it is with that end in mind that you create your content and get it out into the world.
Gina, I'd have to agree with you on that. I think that's very important that you get that out there. And I think another thing that really plagues a lot of the people that fail in content creation is they have very poor audience understanding. They don't know exactly what people are looking for. They think, hey, I've got a nifty, groovy idea. Boy, this is really cool. But the audience is going, we don't care about that. Because, hey, when you produce content, you're competing with, well, let's see, everybody on the internet. All the messages that are out there. So what you want to do is you want to come up with something that people are really looking for. You might think, well, Terry, how do I find that out? Well, the way you find it out is you ask. You ask them and you do your research. Our friend Brian Fanzo talks about doing your own damn research. And I think he is so right. Hi, Brian. Hope you enjoy this. But there's a lot of wisdom in that statement. You've got to look at what you're doing and how to do it. Now, doing that research today, you can use AI tools. The AI tools give you the ability to go out there and track, here's what people are looking for, here's what they're not. Using ChatGPT, very important for that. I'd recommend using the 4.0 version of it right now. We talk about that in our Stark Raving Entrepreneurs program. Also, Perplexity, a very good one, and one that we use and love a lot through Perplexity is called Claude. And there's a component of that called Sonnet. Now, if you don't understand that, that's okay. We got other videos to help you on this, and you can drop us a note and ask on that. But these are what you want to do. Do your research and use AI tools to get the right answers.
Well, one of the ways that you can do that is you need to have consistent content creation. So lacking this consistent content creation is definitely one of the big mistakes that we see people making. And so as you have that clarity on who you serve and the problem that you solve, and what is their urgent need that you can help them with, you want to create videos, you want to create audios like we're doing right now. We're creating a video, we'll pull the audio from this, we'll pull some text from this and repurpose that, and then we'll create some images. So video, audio, images, and text, and you can certainly use AI to supplement what you're doing. It's never been easier to create content using AI and using your own ideas and merging the two.
Yeah, you know something, Gina, as you mentioned that, that reminds me a lot of times when people say, oh, it's so easy now, but they're producing poor content. And they're doing it because, number one, like we said, it's not what your audience wants. And also poor delivery. If we stand here like this all the time and speak like that, that's not going to be good. You know, that's not good either. Again, you're competing with the entire internet. And a bazillion, I think that's the exact number, a bazillion videos that are uploaded onto YouTube all the time. It's good that there is a large variety of content out there, but you got to make sure that it's got good content, good delivery, and also not so predictable. Too often people fall into repeating exactly what has been said before over and over, and that does not work. So you want to make sure that it's unique. It's something that people go, hey, that's brand new. I like that. Oh, I can use that. I'm going to watch her channel. I'm going to watch his channel. I like what these folks are doing at this place. That's what you want to do. And that will help you to avoid failure in content creation.
Well, when I think about people who really have not succeeded with their becoming a content entrepreneur, it's one of the big reasons is because they just keep waiting and waiting until everything's perfect until they get started. They got to feel like, oh, I have the perfect offer, I have the perfect content, I have the perfect way of creating that content. But you don't need to have all that. You just need to get started. You try a few things out, you figure it out, you improve, you tweak, you pivot, you make it your own, and you watch what's happening, and you are constantly refining. I think often to the time when I was learning to ride a bicycle, and I got a bicycle when I was about 5 years old for Christmas and had training wheels, and my dad behind me to push me along a little bit until I got stable. And then he stopped pushing me and I just used the training wheels, but then I got rid of the training wheels. And so similarly, you can use your own testing and trials to get your content out there and to figure out how to do it better all the time.
Yeah, Gina, I have to agree on that. And by the way, some know I ride a unicycle. So I had the one wheel. I didn't have anyone pushing me along as I was learning. I had to learn, but the principles are still there. You try something and yeah, you're going to fall down. You definitely will. But when you do, you get back up. And then what you want to do is analyze what went wrong. You can sit there and go, oh, woe is me, and cry and really waste your time. Or you can say, okay, we messed up on that one. What went wrong? How can we take care of that? And that means what you got to do is you got to test, then test and test. You never stop testing to say what worked well on this, what didn't work well on this one. Always do that and keep records of it. By keeping records, you're going to be able to do it. And I think too often we're waiting for that perfect moment, and the perfect moment really just doesn't come. So what you want to do instead is you want to be able to say, okay, I'm going to start with something that I can use and try something real simple. I know a lot of people like to use X, formerly known as Twitter. Be able to put something there, and if people resonate with it, then you can say, okay, I'll do more of that. The idea of a minimum viable product is a term that's been around for a long time. Frank Robinson came up with that back in 2001. It was, and then it was popularized a lot by Steve Blank and Eric Ries. They talked about a minimum viable product. I think that's a great idea. Let's take it into the area of content creation so you can have a minimum viable idea. Minimum viable idea that you say, okay, this is something, let me try it out there. Try it in different ways, and then pack in, pack in a whole lot of capabilities and power and value that you're going to have there. Because what you want to do is have a real key to success. And that key is going to start with a unique value proposition. You want to give them something that people are ready, willing, and able to pay for. Not something you think is a grand idea and you're going to lose money on it. That's not any good. But you also want something that they can afford and they go, this is real value. I like the way that Noah Kagan also says it in his book, The Millionaire Weekend. What you want to do is you want to ask people for money up front. Ask them to pay for something right now. He even says, ask for $1. Yes, $1 that they give you. Why? It's a psychological barrier that you get over. And Noah Kagan, if you ever watch this, we'd really appreciate what you've said on that. It's really good that you can find something that you think is a good idea. But too often we think, hey, this is just a real dandy idea here, and I can do it, and I'm sure the world will just love it. But the world doesn't really care. You want to get something that people have said, yes, I like that, and here's money for it. Too often we get people that are well-meaning that can say, oh, that's a great idea. Find out, are they the ones that are actually going to be buying it? And if they're not, be careful. It's like the same thing we see with many professional speakers. They'll say to each other, you should raise your fees. Yes, you should raise your fees. Really? Are you going to pay for it? Let's find out what people who are paying for it have to say. And sometimes, yeah, they would value it, might even value it more if you raise your fees because it creates even more perception of value. But at the same time, listen to your audience. Get in there and find out what they want, and don't stand by with just what you think is a dandy idea.
I love that. And I love Noah Kagan's book. That's a great one. And his philosophy, that's terrific. And speaking of that, you want to earn money, and ideally you want to be earning recurring revenue. So I don't know about you, but my bills come every month. There's a lot of monthly bills that are out there. And so I like that recurring revenue that also comes every month. And it's you have some expertise. If you're a content entrepreneur, you have expertise. How can you package that into coaching programs? Not just a one-off hourly consult, which there's a place for that, but as much as possible, you want to get folks on a retainer such that they're paying you on a monthly basis for a minimum of 3-month commitment, maybe even a 12-month commitment, so that you can help them make the transformation that they're trying to make in their lives by working with you with your expertise. And then secondly, think about, is there a service that you can provide, such as some sort of a done-for-you service that you can provide that will help folks to meet that transformation? For example, we're doing some done for you work with folks who want to create an online course. And there's a lot of nuts, bolts, and wiggle pins, as Terry likes to say, that have to be all calibrated correctly in order to get an online course off the ground. And so we have a done for you service that helps people with that. So that's just an example. And think for yourself, what could you do that would be a higher end offer so that you can help people and get that cash flow going?
Yeah, Gina, I like what you're saying on that. I think that's real good, the idea of a 3-month minimum, because in the real world, stuff happens. You say, okay, this is what I'm going to do this week or this month. Oh, this emergency came up. Over 3 months, you can usually smooth those out. And I think that's really good so that you can then create really valuable content that people are going to look to. What it is going to be, whether it's a video, your audio, pictures, whatever it is, you want that to be valuable. And by the way, here's who gets to decide what's valuable. They do. The people who are paying, the buyers, not so much you. Yes, it's a good idea that you understand what's valuable, but you're going to hear from them and you want to make sure that it helps them and really is helping them because they're paying. Even if you got free content, they're paying with their most valuable resource, time. Time is that most valuable resource that is always getting away. And so you want to make sure that you're making it worth their while to stay there and listen, to pay you with that most precious of resource, time.
Well, over the years, we've seen and experienced ourselves some practical strategies that will help with success. And one of them is to have that to be focused on your content planning and scheduling. So one of the things that's helped me is that I have a Google Doc that's set up with story ideas. And every time I think of one, I just make sure that I'm disciplined and I go there and I write it down as soon as I can. And I have it on a Google Doc because that works for me if I'm on the computer, if I'm on my phone, if I'm out and about. I can open that Google Doc and I can insert it there so that it doesn't get lost. And that's been a real key. Also, you need to block in the time when you're going to create your content. You need to put it in your schedule and treat it as the important appointment that it is. One of the things that I have done over the years is I've been part of a writing group, and the writing group would meet twice a week, early in the mornings, and it was called Shut Up and Write. So it was filled with some of my colleagues from the National Speakers Association, and that's what we did. We got together. We blocked in the time, a couple hours is what we did. We had a little chat at the beginning, then we turned off our cameras and mics, worked, and then regrouped. And that was a really good office hour type environment as an entrepreneur, solopreneur, to get that work done.
Gina, I remember when you were doing that and they Shut Up and Write. I thought, I love that name, where you're getting together, you're engaging with other people that are helping each other. And that's something we want to do in our groups too. When you have people working with you, you want to make sure that you engage with your audience in an authentic way. Engaging with them that way really actually gives you an advantage over AI. Today, more than ever, we want people who are authentic, not putting on some kind of a front. They're not being plastic. They're being real. The more authentic you can be, helping people, really being there for them, the more effective you're going to be in business. So we want to do it, not say, oh, gee, if I can fake authenticity, then you really got it made. No, 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 no. This means you really are, because people are going to see right through it. And so what you want to do is look at what's working for them. And then that means you got to listen and ask more questions. I love the way my buddy Chris Brogan says it. You want to grow bigger ears. Listen more carefully to what people are asking for, where they're hurting. And then here's a concept: ask questions. Don't just go in there talking about it. I've noticed so many times in conversation, see if you ever noticed this. So you're talking about something, you go, oh yeah, recently I went over to Los Angeles and I had to do da 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 da. And somebody jumps in interrupting, oh, well, I remember when I went to Los Angeles and da 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 da. They're not asking questions, they're not listening. They're only paying attention to what they can do. You will get an advantage when you can interact with your audience by asking them questions, getting feedback. We want to hear from you. We want to know what you like. Please leave comments wherever you're getting this below and just send us some notes. And also, here's another key that can really help you. Keep records of what's working and what isn't working. When something didn't work, it's easy to feel down about that. Oh, it didn't work. Okay, got it. But take advantage of that. Write it down, document it. What didn't work? What went wrong? And ask the questions about that. This is the key. Matter of fact, we learned from psychologists and those wonderful people who are in the mental health care space. They're asking questions. They're asking helping questions. They're in there saying, well, really, tell me more about that. Not just, did you like yellow or blue? Okay, that's all right. But it's even better to say, and why did you like the blue? What was it about that blue that you really enjoyed? Probing in-depth questions, not interrogating someone, but listening to what they want. The more you can do that, the closer you're going to be to finding out what your audience really wants, and you'll be there to help them out.
Well, and to your point about keeping records of what worked, this is another thing you want to schedule. Practical strategy. Every week, you're going to schedule time to look at your analytics. So choose the platform or platforms that are most important for you to reach your target audience. And you're going to want to go in and see, how did you do? Did you have new followers or new likes and new people that are paying attention to what you're doing? And did you have interaction and engagement on those posts? So you're going to want to check that out and keep track of it so that you'll know what's working and what isn't. And you'll get more informed about what works for your audience and what type of content you really like to create. And I'm betting that the content you like to create is going to get better results and better engagement.
Gina, I think you're right on that, because when you get that better engagement, you're getting better results, then you feel good about it. You want to continue doing it. Your audience wins and you win by practicing these key areas. One we haven't mentioned yet that is still important is, and very more important today, very more important, there's a good phrase, than ever before. And what it is watching the algorithm. YouTube has really done a good job, I have to say, on putting in the algorithms and measuring what works, how many people are watching, how long do they watch, and where do they start dropping off. Ouch, that can hurt, but it's good information to know. Hey, every time you said this, right here at that, look how many people jumped off. Okay, this is good information to know for the future. So pay attention to it, but don't obsess on it. You don't have to think, oh, gee, I got to live and die by the algorithm. No. Be aware of it, see what's going on. You want the input from real people saying, I liked what you said about that, or I didn't care for that one. That didn't do a thing for me. And you want to see what the algorithm is doing as well. Make sure you're monitoring all of that. And so don't try to out-algorithm everyone else and think, oh, if I get that down, then I'll be okay. Use it. It's a tool like AI, but you are the one that is in control of all of it.
Okay, and one of the things that you're going to want to do is to manage those creative blocks. Consider batching your content. A lot of folks that we know will go in and they'll have a whole day scheduled for creating one video right after another. And that works really well for a lot of people. And you want to schedule uninterrupted time for that. You want to get your inner circle to agree that this time is official. It's sacred, I might say. And you want to make sure that they're going to honor that you're not going to be interrupted when you have this sign on the door or during this time period. And you have to also manage yourself so that you don't allow interruptions. You don't get pop-ups and notices. I use a little tool called it's a clock. The technique is called the Pomodoro technique. I got this from Amazon. It might have been called the Pomodoro clock. I'm not sure. But basically, I will come in and set it for, say, 20 minutes, this side of the clock. And then I will say, I'm going to focus on this specific task right now and not let anything else interrupt me until the 20 minutes is up. And you'll be amazed how much you can actually get done. I've been amazed at what I can get done during a focused period like that.
And one of the things you want to do is while you're working on that, you're focused on it. Gina, I really like that idea, and that Pomodoro method and using the clock is a good way to really do it. You hear that alarm going off. And I think what you want to do is you want to look at how can you be on time and make sure that your viewers are finding out about what needs to be done in their life to make their business better. You want to have these strategies. Implement the strategies that people can use in a prominent way. So, Jada, I think we've covered a lot of ground today on how people can avoid the failures and then get in there and start looking at it. We'd love to hear from you, dear listener. If you're listening to this, if you're watching it on video, if you're listening to this on the podcast, we want to hear from you. What are you doing? Because as a content creator, you're doing a whole lot of good. And I think those are the keys today to get ahead. You provide real value and you make sure that it's something people can use in their own business.
Yes, so let us know in the comments below, what are your keys to creating content that converts to cash? We'd love to hear from you.
You know, being a content entrepreneur is one of the fastest growing keys out there, one of the fastest growing ways people are making money. So it is a noble cause. What you're doing as a content creator is something that is helping others. You're giving them ideas. You're giving them content that can help them in their business, in their life, whatever it is that you're talking about. This is going to be the real key. And we really appreciate you being with us, being here to help out as we're doing this, and leaving a comment below, letting us know what you think. Matter of fact, one thing you can do to really help, like this, share it, and also subscribe to this. That'll let the algorithms know, hey, people like this idea of live and let live for content entrepreneurs. And you can also bounce over to starkravingentrepreneurs.com, find out what we have going on and how that can benefit you. And here's that gift I was telling you about. We want to make sure you get this. We put this together and we keep updating it. AIToolsforbiz.com. It's all in lowercase, AI tools, the number 4, biz.com. And also, you see, we got a QR code there. You're going to find out about all kinds of tools like ChatGPT, like DALL-E 3, and what DALL-E 3 can do. It's amazing for your content. Canva, a tool that we love to pieces. Use it for creating our graphics, creating so much of what we do. Also, you want to look at the lexica.art, a great little tool for creating graphics. It would be good for you, along with other tools. One that we like particularly, Udly. Now, if you want to get better at interviews and communicating, Udly is a great tool as a speech coach that can help you on that. OpenAI is, of course, the company that gives us both ChatGPT and DALL-E 3. I get over there and watch what they're doing. And one other tool, Stable Diffusion, that gives you a lot of capability to get a lot done. And like I said, here's a QR code that you can grab if you're catching this on video. AIToolsforbiz.com is right there for you. And we've got even more for you, because right now we've got some other videos that are going to help you specifically relating to what we covered here in this one, for you to use and to get ahead in your work. You are embarking on being a content creator. That is one of the most noble things you can do. We cheer you on for that, and we look forward to hearing from you.